As a kid, I was always turning around in the car trying to see what was going on as we passed a police car on the side of the road. I was always fantasized with the idea about what was going on and what people had done to get pulled over. Was it simply the speeding, or was it something worse, like a stolen car or drugs? This is what sparked my interest and led me to being a police officer. As a police officer, my duty is to protect and serve the public. I get to protect the public by making sure the criminals stay off the streets, by preventing crime, and by maintaining the law and keeping the peace. I will be an employee of the city of Newton, Kansas, where I will hopefully be viewed as here to reduce my ability to enter dangerous situations, to apprehend the criminal, and to keep you safe from harm. Some of the duties I will have as a police officer in Newton, Kansas will include being with a patrol unit in K-9 unit school resource and animal control. Being involved in a patrol unit, I will be the first line of contact between the police department and public. Meaning I will be the one you see first in times of emergency or trouble. I will respond to vagrancy of calls such as robberies, alarms, and traffic violations or accidents. Being in the K-9 unit, we are trained to protect people from incidents and illegal drugs. We've raised over $50,000 of cash in agencies 175 times, 16 firearms, over $35,000 worth of illegal drugs around the world. My first career choice was to be a police officer. My second career choice was to be a lawyer. And my third and final career choice was to be a teacher. When choosing your career, the job you give up to have the one you choose is called opportunity cost. My opportunity cost was being a lawyer. I choose to be a police officer over a lawyer because I can help keep bad people off the streets, keep the innocent from getting hurt, and eventually save the world. 3 positive incentives for being a police officer are: my insurance is paid for, I get to help people, and I get to drive fast. 3 negative incentives for being a police officer are: you could get shot, you could get tased, and you might die. My annual salary for being a police officer is $33,000, and my monthly salary is $2,750. When working on my budget sheet, I figured up my housing for splitting with a roommate, and it was $262. I also splitting the utilities with a roommate. 2 of my highest categories were transportation and taxes. Both of them were over $500 a month out of my paycheck. One really good thing for being a police officer is that the city I work for pays my health and life insurance, which allows me to save every month. When I first estimated my toiletries cost, I believed that it was going to be very expensive, but I came to realize that it's going to be very cheap, making it my cheapest expensive at $15 a month. I also believe that clothing was going to be one of my most expensive parts at $200 a month, but it came to only be $35 a month, which is one part of my discretionary. As you can see on my pie graph, transportation and taxes both taking over $500 a month. They are 2 of my largest pieces in my pie chart. Transportation takes 21% and taxes take 21%. The next largest piece of my budget was discretionary category. And I realized that having a pet is expensive, and having fun going out and having internet and cable are costly. School loans and my food budget both take up 11% of my budget. Together, housing and utilities take up 17% of my budget, and that is with a roommate. The smallest expense is toiletries at 1%, but I may have underestimated the cost. When figuring my budget, I had to make some trade-offs. I decided to live with a roommate so I could afford to pay my loans. I went with a cheaper car so I could pay my school loans, and I'm not eating out so I can afford a dog. It is always good to have an up-to-date resume when applying for a job. On my resume, I included my qualifications, which is a Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice from Wichita State University. Graduation in May 2024 while at WSU. I received the Outstanding Law Enforcement Candidate Award. I also included my reference expense in the field of security working at G4S, Wichita and Club Rodeo, also in Wichita, because it is tied into law enforcement, there are several skills that I need, such as being confident, the ability to stay calm in stressful situations, responsible, self-motivated, and resilience, which I am confident that I'm mastering those skills in my recent jobs as security personnel at Club Rodeo and for G4S. My reference on my resume include my manager, Mr. Roy Roberts from Club Rodeo, and my supervisor from G4S, Ms. Latina Roosevelt. I am confident that my supervisor will give me a great reference since I was a good employee. I sent my resume with a cover letter to the Chief of Police of Newton, Kansas, George Anderson. I am interested to apply for a job as a police officer at the Newton Police Department. I am well experienced. I worked as a security guard at Club Rodeo. I was doing crowd control and I was controlling evidence. 5 websites I found useful in doing my research are CarMax, where I was able to figure out how much I would have to spend on my car. A career site and PA Career Zone. I took surveys to help you decide on career options. At Rent Jumble, I was able to find a department on BLS.gov. I was able to get information about being a police officer. The 2 articles I found most useful are the ones I found on BLS.gov. The first one is what police and detectives do at all levels of law enforcement. The second article is how to become a police officer or detective, which explains education and training needed. As a police officer, my duty is to serve and protect the public by putting away the bad guys and saving the world one traffic stop at a time. This is why I want to become a police officer. I can't wait for my dream to come true.